So, hello, Living Powerfully community, and anyone else that happens to be listening to this. Today is Tuesday Live. We are here talking about radical results. Just that word radical is amazing, isn't it? Who wants radical results? Who wants a radical life? And if you're here, please post in the chat. Let me know you're here, where you're from, and I'm happy to chat with you today on Tuesday Live. So I'm Dr. Shelley Nash. I'm an elite level mindset coach. I help women who are high achieving to unlock their genius and create the success that they want and deserve in their life, maybe 10x their income, whatever it is that you're looking for. You need to unlock that genius within you to take you further in your life. So that's what I do for my work. I'm here in Living Powerfully community, where we're talking about mindset every single Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in the group. So come on over and listen to us share about mindset. Today's talk really was inspired by something I heard yesterday, and I also realized that I not only heard it yesterday, that I knew it, and that it was just said in a little different way that inspired me to really give you this talk today on achieving radical results. So what is required for you to get radical results in your life and achieve the big goals that you are going for? What is required? So sometimes we look at successful people in the world and we think, well, there's something different about them, or they're lucky, or they're unique, or they have something that we don't have. And we kind of look at that, maybe they were born that way, maybe they were born into wealth. And so it's something that's not achievable for us. That's how we tend to look at people. And that's also part of just our conditioning, our cultural conditioning and our personal conditioning is how we look at successful people. And I want to let you know that you don't get what you want by luck. You get what you want because it's a way of your being and a way of your thinking. A way of being and a way of thinking is how you get what you want. But first you have to know, of course, what you want. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that's a big part of where we start is, what do you want? What's your heart's desire? What are you going for? What's your big dreams? And are you ready to start that now? Because when is the best time to plant a tree? When is the best time to plant a tree? Well, usually the answer to that is 20 years ago. So we can't go back in time. So the next best time to plant a tree is today. So when is the best time to plant your future? Plant for your future? Well, it's today, what you want today. So figuring out what you want is the first step. So this also requires thinking. And to learn to think for the success that you desire. And the core to success really is mindset. Who has heard this, that mindset is everything? You know, we hear that, but what does that really mean? So success is 95% mindset, 5% strategy. And what does that mean? Because most of us tend to think about the strategy, like, I need to do something differently. I need to do what they're doing. But it's really about what I just said, how are you being and what are you thinking, your way of thinking and your way of being. It's not necessarily the strategy that you're using. It's all in the mindset. So yesterday I heard my friend Chris Kenny give a talk, and I'm going to take some of what he talked about and add my own flair to it today. But I thought it was really good. Take notes if you are a note-taking type of person. So he used this acronym of THINK. And so T stands for think about what you want. That's just what I said. Think about what do you want? What do you really want? Not what you think you can do, but what do you want? So this always hangs us up too, because we tend to muffle ourselves down to what we think we can do, what we think is a good job for us, what we think, might be the best way to make money versus what do we want? What do you want has to do with what do you love? So Think about what you want. That's the T. And you also want to think about what you want versus your current reality. So when you're thinking about your current reality, you're creating more of the same of that. You have to get outside of your current status, your current bank account, anything that's happening in your current reality, and start to think about what do you want. Put yourself into the future. So think about what you want, hold your vision on what you want, and that's the T. H, have a clear description of what you want. Make sure that it's clearly in your mind or clearly written down. How much do you want and by when? If it's a money goal, or what exactly do you want? Have it clearly described, because if you have ever heard this, like ask and it is given. So when you ask the universe, you want to be specific because you want to get exactly what you want. But if you're not specific, the universe will give you exactly what you asked for. So make sure you're specific in your asking, that you're asking for exactly what you want to receive back in return. And if you're not asking, if you're sitting waiting and hoping and wishing, then the universe can't respond to you. So the universe is going to hold back until you start asking, until you start putting it out there in a definite form. So that's the H. Have a clear description. I is insert gratitude. Insert gratitude into everything that you have, everything that's coming to you, and actually start to behave in a way as if you already have what you want. And you can affirm this, like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have such and such in my life. And this is your goal, what you want going for, and speak it as if it is real now. Because in our subconscious mind, in the place where we're implanting everything that we want, there is no time or space. So you're anything that you imagine, anything you implant, your subconscious mind thinks is true. So I is insert gratitude into everything and behave as if you already have what you want. And even do your gratitudes from the future. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, earning this amount, and it's on this date. So you want to be super clear and grateful for your future want already arriving. It's already here. And then the N is a big one. This is a big one. And this is the one that kind of struck me so much yesterday that inspired me to actually share with you today. So N is notice what shows up. Notice what's showing up in your life, what you are attracting into your life, because it's all for you. You've attracted it, whether you wanted to attract it or didn't want to attract it. If you're asking for what you want, then the universe is giving you things for you to either learn, for you to go to your next level. And what's showing up is what you need to pay attention to. So this can be very, very tricky, because so you want to have gratitude for everything that's showing up, whether it seems positive or whether it seems negative. Just have gratitude for it all, because it's all for you. You attracted it. And there's 3 parts to this. Notice what's showing up. And the truth is that when you're going for a radical result, a big goal, something you really want that's out of your comfort zone, the things that will show up will not be convenient, will not feel, will feel, that it's so uncomfortable, not convenient for you. And it will almost feel like it's off track from your purpose, but it really is on track. So when you set these big goals, it's uncomfortable. So it's not convenient. Things that show up are uncomfortable. And things that show up may even be expensive in either money or emotion. And so let's talk about those some more. So in order to get to your next level, in order to go for your big goal, to really extend yourself, all of these three things that I just mentioned may be happening, and they may be happening all at the same time for you. They may feel inconvenient, uncomfortable, and they may cost you extra money or cost you extra emotional expense. And this is what I want to tell you is that even though you're just a beginner at setting a big goal, or you've been setting big goals for a long time, this will always happen if you're doing it correctly. If you're setting that big goal that you don't know how you're going to achieve, these things will come up to challenge you. And the more and more you get used to it, the easier it gets. But this is where, like, say, for example, you want to go to your next level and the expense seems more than you can handle at that time. Well, remember, N is notice what shows up. If it's showing up for you. And it's something that's for you, something that you can do, even though your previous thinking would say, it's too much money, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. So you want to really look at that, because as you're growing to your next level, you're always going to be investing in yourself, in your company, in whatever you're doing. You're going to invest time, you're going to invest money, you're going to invest emotion, because it's your passion. It's what you want. It's your desire. It's what's driving you. So N is for notice what shows up. It's not going to be convenient. It's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be expensive in money or emotion. And this is what happens for every single person that's going, that's growing, that's successful in their lives. And maybe we choose to not see that about their lives, or maybe they don't talk about it, but this is happening for you if you're growing to your next level. So, and then K of the THINK acronym has to do with keep moving in faith and understanding about the process. Once you know how this works, this manifestation process, how you can think and create whatever you want in your life and think to get the results you want, you have to have faith that it works. Faith and understanding, because you're going to know how it works, that it will work in helping you to get to your goal. So as long as you're aligned with your goal, it's on purpose for you and aligned with your source of all the energy that ever was, that ever is, then the faith is trusting that everything's going to fall into place for you, even though it's going to be inconvenient, uncomfortable, and expensive at some level. So you have to embrace all of it. I was saying the other day, you want to embrace the fact that people that are going places know that they are their own worst enemy, and that they need to have a mentor, a coach, or some support in order to get where they want to go, because given of their own devices, they won't get there. So accepting the fact that you want to have a coach, mentor, accountability, support to get you where you want to go, and accepting this fact that the things that are showing up for you when you're in alignment with your goal, where you're going, what your source, everything is in track, that what's showing up is for you, and to embrace those things of inconvenient, uncomfortable, and expensive, because there's there for you to grow. The whole purpose of a goal and why we set big goals is for you to grow. So if you're not setting a big enough goal, you're not going to come up against these things, and you're not going to grow, and you're not going to get the results that you want, as fast as you want them, and your life is going to be more of the same. So it is your desire for what you want that will allow you to do battle with everything that gets in your way. Let me say that again. It is your desire for what you want and your goal that you're going for that will allow you to do battle with everything that gets in your way. And when I say everything that gets in your way, mostly I'm talking about doing battle with yourself, like the old self, the old programming, the negative self-talk, the negative self-criticism. So you're doing battle with this old self that just wants everything to remain in the status quo. And it's the desire and the want that's going to get you through that. So keep moving in faith is the K. So think about what you want, have a clear description of what you want, insert gratitude, notice what shows up, and keep moving in faith and understanding. So let's talk about decision for a while. We talked about decision at the end of our workshop last week. Decisions are so important. And this is another thing that successful people do. Napoleon Hill, in his book, Think and Grow Rich, discovered that 500 of the world's most successful people at the time had in common the fact that they made decisions quickly and they rarely changed their mind. And the reason that they did this is that they knew exactly where they were going. They knew what their purpose was. They knew their goal. And so when a decision came upon them, they would either say it fits or it doesn't fit. And then it's a yes or a no very quickly. And they really didn't have time for indecision, procrastination. When you start learning to make decisions quickly, you realize how much time you waste in indecision and procrastination. And it's so painful, actually. It's really painful in your body when you start to realize this. So you want to make decisions about not from where you are currently, but from where you want to be. So your future self, what would she do? How would she handle this? What would she decide? Make your decision from the place you're going. And how is this going to help you get where the place you're going to? So if you focus on where you are today, that is where you're going to stay. That kind of rhymes. If you focus on where you are today, that is going to be where you stay. If you focus on where you are today, that is where you're going to stay. Imprint that in your mind, because that is not what you want to do. When you're focusing on today, you keep repeating that over and over again. Your results from today are based on your previous thinking. Your previous thinking 1 week, 1 month ago, your results from today. So in order to flip into what you want, you have to flip your mind into focusing on where you're going, making those decisions from already being at your goal. And what would she do? So that's a great thing about making decisions. You have to step in with faith when you make these decisions from your future self. And even you can have conversations with your future self. What would you do? So you don't know what it's like to be at your dream, your goal, because you've never been there before. So your mind has a difficult time trying to figure out how you're going to get there because you haven't been there before. You don't have actually the neurons built in your mental system, in your brain or in your neurology in order to figure out how to get there. So we often say the how isn't important, that the path will be shown to you. But we also talk about rewiring your thinking. We have your old thinking that got you the old results, and we need to create new thinking that's going to get you the new results that you want. And so there's a way that you can actually change your neurology to serve you versus working against you. And I want to give you a great example because I just heard this morning. Actually, a friend of mine was telling me this, and he said this example of how we can change our neurology, and he gave the example of blazing a trail. Like if you ever have gone snowmobiling or gone on dirt bikes, that kind of thing. And that the first time you go down a new trail, that hasn't been gone on by anyone else in a snowmobile or in a dirt bike, there's a lot of friction on the path because you're going down through the snow or through a field of weeds for the first time. And so there's so much friction. You haven't done it before. But the more and more you make a decision to go down that trail, you go down the same trail again and again, then the weeds are pressed down, the snow is compacted, and it becomes easier and easier to go down that trail because you've made imprints into it, and you've compacted it, and it becomes easier and easier. So think about this for when you're making decisions and getting into this new decision-making process, when you're making hard decisions. for yourself and for your business, that you're blazing a new trail that you've not ever been down before, and you don't know how, and so it gets easier and easier the more you make difficult decisions, and the paths actually become revealed to you along the way as well. For your own thinking process, your own decision process, you make the decision, and then the universe shows up and gives you the answers. So that process of decision making can become easier and easier. But I hope that analogy helps with blazing a new trail that you've never been down before. Your nervous system doesn't even know how to do it. That's why you feel really kind of a little bit chaotic or anxious, because you have the old ways of thinking and the new ways of thinking combining together, and it feels chaotic. You're going through the weeds. You're trying to make a new way, and it's difficult the first few times that you do that, but it gets easier and easier and easier. So if you want to get what most people won't get, think about this. If you want to get what most people won't get, you have to be willing to do what most people won't do. So if you want to get what most people won't get in their lives, you have to be willing to do what most people won't do. So let's say that most people won't get the financial freedom that they hope and wish for, because they're not willing to do what they need to do in order to get there. So you have to start being willing to do the things that the people that wish and hope for won't ever do. So just get yourself really committed and start doing things that others won't do in order to get to your goal. So bottom line to this whole conversation today is that radical results require radical behavior. Radical results require radical behavior. This doesn't ever change as you keep growing and growing and going for new, bigger goals and better goals, and going for earning more and more income. It never changed. Radical results require radical behavior on your part. And remember, we talked about these things. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is so true. Living in this place of on the edge, always going like one step over than you think you can do. That's the place where you're going to live when you're wanting to get these radical results. And ask yourself, am I too comfortable right now? Am I stretching myself? Am I going for it? How have I settled? How have I settled and I'm not really living on the edge? You should always have that feeling of being on the edge, of that uncomfortable. And you're saying, well, why would I want to do that? Well, do you want better in your life? Do you want something different in your life? If you want more, if you want to live from a place of passion, if you want to fulfill your life's dreams, this is the price, like the emotional price that you have to pay. That's why I said it's expensive emotionally sometimes. Most of us that are on this path probably wouldn't have chose it if we knew what it was going to be like. But now that we're on it, we wouldn't do anything else. So because it's so fulfilling to have your desires and wishes and dreams coming true, and realize that you're the creator of your own world, you're creative of your destiny. So if you really, really if you're really going for what you want, you just have to use this process of taking chances and risking on your dreams and goals. You get used to saying yes to yourself versus accepting mediocre. So how does that sitting with you guys? I hope that you're resonating with that as much as I did over the last couple days. It really, really got me thinking about, am I really doing radical behaviors to get the radical results I want? Am I really living on the edge? Am I getting too comfortable? Am I really going for what I want? Or am I settling for what I think I can have? So all of these questions are so good to ask yourself. And I wanted to tell you that our women's transformational coaching program for exponential gains, self-mastery to riches, is now ongoing. We've launched it. It's ongoing. We're taking new women into the program every single day. So if you feel like you resonate with some of the things I've been talking about in the group or this talk today, then get on a call with me, send me a DM, book a time with me, and let's chat to see if any of the programs that I offer would be a good fit for you to get to your next level in your life and beyond. So happy to have you here in Living Powerfully community, and anywhere else that you are on the stream, thank you for joining us, and come on over to Living Powerfully Community for Women on the Facebook groups if you haven't already joined. So thank you so much. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll be talking to you very soon.